Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, Z Space. I am Zed and I'm so excited to have you here. This is my pilot episode, my first episode ever. I've been wanting to start for the longest time, but now I'm finally starting. Glory to God. Today I want to be talking about something really important and expedient that we know of. I'm going to starting with something that's like probably all learned growing up. You know how they told us in economics class that humans are insatiable? And I think it's really true. Like, human needs are inexhaustible. People always just want more. Oliver Twist. But do you know that that's not how we were created? That's not how God intended for man to be. It's not surprising, right? Like, why would God want to create someone that can never be satisfied? Well, how do I know this? Well, it's all written in the book of Genesis. You can see in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, how God, when he created man, man did not even know he needed a helpmate. He was satisfied with his life. He was okay. He was living. He was doing his work. It was God who recognized there in that verse that man needed someone else. And he put man into a deep sleep and then created woman. Proof number two that humans weren't created insatiable is that in Genesis chapter 3, verse 5, from verse 1 to 6, you could see from there that the woman was okay with her life till the devil came and started speaking to her. Started telling her things like if she eats of the fruit, she become more like God and things like that. And then when she began to listen, even before she ate the fruit, when she began to listen, she started to feel like, oh, she looked. The Bible says that she looked at the fruit. Let me even read it out. That's Genesis chapter 1, verse 6. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food and it was pleasant to the eyes and a tree to be desired to make one wise. See that eyes wise. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So we can see from this verse that it was as soon as she heard the words, she began to internalize the words of the devil, that she began to recognize that she wasn't perfect, that she needed more. That understand things like that, thoughts like that began to enter into her head, and then she ate of the fruit, and then they now recognize that they needed clothing, and then they tried to clothe themselves, and then and from there on could see that they became people who are insatiable. They always needed more, always wanted more. So I want to be talking about how we should react towards not having enough. And we feel like, oh, we need a lot more and we don't have. Look at how Jesus responded to it, because he's like a role model. I'll be reading from the Bible from the book of Matthew, chapter 15, and verses. It's actually kind of long, 32 to 37. I don't know if I should read everything. Okay, I'll just be sharing this story. So, practically, this place was when Jesus had taught people, and he went to the mountain and taught them for 3 days to stretch. And he was done teaching, people needed to go home. But he said that he was not going to send them like that because he didn't want them fainting on the way going home. He decided that, okay, they needed to be fed. He told his disciples that. And they were like, oh, there's nothing to use to feed them. He said, like, what do you have? He said, only 7 fishes and 7 loaves of bread and fishes. And then he told them, okay, get it to me. And he broke it and he blessed it. And he blessed it and he broke it. And he gave it to them to distribute. That was what Jesus did when he was faced with an overwhelm. He had thousands of people to feed and only 7 loaves of bread and fishes. And then he didn't complain. He didn't tell God, oh, this is what I need. Like, Heavenly Father, bring it for me. He just used what he had, broke it, blessed it, and distributed it. I got this inspiration to do this video after reading this passage of the Bible. The day before I read this passage of the Bible, actually, I was feeling overwhelmed with what I didn't have. I had a very serious, overwhelming desire to. I was just so worried. I was thinking, okay, what am I going to do? I needed money for this, I needed money for that. And I was like, in fact, I really needed money for just one thing. As soon as I started thinking about it, I started thinking about how I needed money for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, lots of other things. Like, it was just so overwhelming. I was way down. I started watching movies just to I didn't want to think about it too much. I couldn't even watch it for too long. I just started praying. So God, I beg now, give me, God, please. I just need money. I was like, God, I beg, God, I beg, God, I beg. After God, I begged for a while and I did not still receive any. I slept and woke up, and apparently it was the day I was supposed to read Matthew chapter 15. So I was reading it, just reading and reading, and I got to that last verse. And I actually read past it, and then it caught my attention. Jesus didn't have enough, and instead of him to complain, oh, we have like thousands of people here and only 7 fishes, he just didn't do anything other than give thanks for the food, and then share it. And actually, did just ate it, like take it and eat, and then it was enough. So for that, let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 6. I'm going to be reading from verse 24. It's supposed to be from 24 to 34, but it's pretty long, so I'm just going to be sharing what I got from that place. So I'll be reading 24 and 25. And it says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body more than raiment? The Bible says we cannot serve God and mammon. We have to choose one. And he's telling us in the very next verse how to serve God. See, if you cannot serve God and mammon, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life. And if you're thinking about what you would eat, what you would drink, you're serving mammon. Usually, growing up when they're teaching us about serve God or serve mammon, what usually comes to mind is that if you're serving mammon, maybe you don't need to come to church because you're chasing money. When it's time for service on Sunday, that's the time you want to go and work because you need money. Working on Sunday, that's what they taught us growing up as serving mammon, as taking your business as more important than coming to church, even on Sundays. And serving mammon also is maybe stealing because you want money, lying, like so. The Bible is telling us that that is not true. And it's not like that is not doing all those things is not serving mammon. Probably is. But more than that, if you're always worrying about what you eat, what you wear, and it supersedes the place of God in your life, what am I even saying? If you're taking heed of what you eat, you're taking thought of your life, what you eat, what you drink, of your body, what you put on. And this is not like waking up in the morning and say, okay, which dress will I wear today? Should I wear the red one? I'm talking about thinking of I don't get clothes to this thing I go do. Oh God, this thing I go chop, my food stop won't finish you. All those things. When you're obsessing over the fact that you do not have, you're serving money. I'm not the one that said this is the Bible. It's God that said it. And the next 9 verses, maybe 10 verses, goes on to tell us how God clothes the flowers and feeds the bird. So why would you worry? We as Christians most time fall into this lie of the devil to worry about what we would eat, what we would wear, what would come into our pockets tomorrow, how we are going to survive. God says we shouldn't worry. And when we worry, we're not serving Him. Our lives are not in that moment where we worry, we're not giving Him glory. And what we're serving is money, mammon. So Bible is telling us, and I'm telling you today, that I should not worry about any of these things. You can even say that when you worry, it doesn't just affect you as a Christian, like based on what the Bible says here that we're not serving God. It also affects your relationship with others. Because contentment and serving God works hand in hand. If you're not content, we're going to have a problem with your work with God, and then it will show in your work with others because you will not be a very grateful person. Sincerely, I know that you want a lot of things. I do too. Like sincerely, a lot of things I really want, and it's not like you wouldn't need these things. Remember, the Bible says, "God is a shepherd; you shall not want." That's David telling you that he had understood what God was saying here. It's not that there were no things, and if you read the story, they know that at every point in time there were things he needed. There are things you can even need for himself, because he was king and he was hiding. Like that's some serious need. Like you need to be on your throne, David. He wasn't bothered that much. He was still fine with the fact that, to the extent that he saw Saul could kill him and he didn't. That's why he was bold enough to say, "The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want." When you feel humans are your source and they don't give you up to what you expect from them, you start to despise them too. And this is not even talking about how you could despise God when you're serving mammon. and you claim to be a Christian, or when you are a Christian and you're also serving mammon. I don't know how to put it, but practically when you're serving God and you're serving mammon, you can also get overwhelmed by it and feel like God is not doing enough for you, like you're asking and God is not giving to you, and without knowing you're having seeds of doubt and you're despising God without really knowing that you're doing it. So that's another thing to think about. That's how we react to it, and that's why you say if somebody can be angry at their parents, like feel like angry at them. That's because you feel like they're supposed to be your source and they're not. But when we have a posture, heart posture that God is our source, the one who provides for us, even when it looks like there's nothing in our pocket, we're going to act like Jesus did in Matthew chapter 15, verse 24. Sorry, verse 36, where he just blessed it and used it. Just blessed it and used it. Just bless what you have and go ahead with it. God will supply your needs. He will never leave you stranded. See, even if it's at the last minute, dying moment. Remember the widow who was about to eat and kill herself and her child. And then the prophet came to her house and said, let me eat that food. And she gave it to him. Meaning she did not have any other thing to eat. And he asked her, what is in her hand? And it was oil. See, even if you're down to the last penny, God won't leave you stranded. Try it. And this time, try it out. Just be like, let it be that means for you to die and become skeleton. You see that God will leave you. That's because he's God and he doesn't lie and he always does what he said he would do. Okay, I think we're gonna stop here. I hope we got something. I'll leave you with this last one. Rely on God and don't try to do his work for him. Don't try to do his work. He said he'll provide, he will. Do your own part. Like you have a work, actually go to work and work, let your salary come in. But don't worry, don't try to do his work for him. Let him do his work. Since we end today's episode, please drop your thoughts, what you feel about this topic, what you got, what you feel you could add, what you feel like I didn't quite say right, doesn't sit well with you. Just drop your opinions and everything. I'm going to be stopping with movie recommendation and music recommendation, or rather I think I'll just give a music recommendation today. In my next video I'll do a movie and music recommendation. I'm going to recommend this song Thanks by Prinx because it goes what I'm talking about today. That song is really beautiful, like you would love it, you would love that song. It's something you can play any day, anywhere, anytime. So go check it out. I'll be leaving the link in the description.
Somebody's driving in a Bentley. Some other person in market they sell scent leaf. Okrekan Louis Vuitton is not the same.